The 5. This is the 5 train. The 5 starts at Eastchester Avenue and moves down the Dyre Avenue line to East 180th Street, meeting with the 2 train. The 2 then move down the White Plains Road line to 149th Street Grand Concourse. The 5 splits from the 2 from there and heads down onto 138th Street Grand Concourse, meeting with the 4. The 2 move on down to 125th Street, meeting with the 6 train. The 4 and 5 make haste down the Express, while the 6 handles local down Lexington Avenue Line. The 3 make their way down to Brooklyn Bridge City Hall, where the 4 and 5 split from the 6. From there, they move on to Bowling Green, the last stop on the 5, or so we thought. The 5, during rush hour, moves down through Dyre Street to Borough Hall in Brooklyn, meeting with the 2 once again and the 3 on the local track. The 4 head over to Franklin Avenue. Finally, this is the final time we are visiting this station. The 2 and 5 split from the 3 and the 4 and head down the Nereid Avenue Line to Flatbush Avenue, thus ending the trip. From Manhattan, the 5 heads up the line to the Bronx. Once it gets up to East 180th Street, some rush hour 5 trains head up on the White Plains Road line, with the 2 to either 238th Street or Nereid Avenue. Meanwhile, regular 5 trains go to Dyre Avenue. Now let me just say that the 5 train is a train to everywhere. What I'm saying is, if anything happens at all, like a train needs extra service, then they will send the 5 down that way. Now other than the 5 being one of my favorite routes in IRT, it's one hell of a special line, other than the fact that the 5 can go anywhere and everywhere at once. It also has some pretty cool facts and history surrounding it. I didn't mean to do this early, but history trip. For the 5, it's definitely needed. In the Bronx section from East 180th Street to Dyre Avenue was once the main line of the New York, Westchester, and Boston Railway, a standard gauge electric commuter railroad built by the New York, New Haven, and Hartford Railroad. When it was closed down in 1937, the entire line was put up for sale, and you guessed it, the MTA took hold of the line and made it the IRT Dyre Avenue Line. In 1940, the city of New York bought the New York, Westchester, and Boston Railway and began integrating the line into the system. The railroad north of the city line to White Plains and Portchester was quickly dismantled. The section below East 180th Street to Greens Farm Junction was used to interchange with the New Haven and once later Penn Central and Conrail to transport subway cars and other equipment on and off the system. That same section has been removed, isolating this part of the subway system from that interchange. The Dyre Avenue Shuttle was established as a new subway service and full-time shuttle along the line on May 15, 1941, between the former East 180th Street station of the New York, Westchester, and Boston Railway and Dyre Avenue, which was the last station on the New York, Westchester, and Boston Railway within New York City. Passengers had to make a walking transfer between the Dyre Avenue Line and the IRT White Plains Road Line at East 180th Street, as there was no track connection between the lines. In 1957, a flyover connection opened between East 180th Street Station for the White Plains Road Line and Dyre Line, enabling service by trains from the 2 route from Manhattan to Dyre. While this happened, the former New York, Westchester, and Boston station was closed, and off-hours Dyre shuttle was rerouted through the White Plains Road Line. Meanwhile, the original Dyre Avenue shuttle was the 9. Yes, the 9 was the first. Years later, the 9 got pulled into being a skip-stop train running with the 1, while the 5 took over the entire Dyre Avenue line and beyond. Forward a bit into the future, the 5 only went down to Atlantic Avenue and extended to Utica Avenue during rush hours. Forward a bit more into the future, and the 5 went to Dyre Avenue, to Bowling Green, and to Flatbush Avenue on rush hours as a regular. It even sported a Diamond 5 until May 27, 2005. The equipment that the 5 uses is R142s, and for GOs, R142As. Now that's all fine and dandy, but the 5 is known for one thing and for one thing only: Redbirds. The 5 is the one and only train that makes the Redbird stand out. I'm sorry, but the 5 isn't the same without these trains. They made the 5. The Redbird 5 is equally as manly as the R32E train. Yes, that's just been said, which is why I'm in my man voice. 5 with Redbirds is it. That's it. You have the ability to go anywhere throughout the entire system with no problem while riding a Redbird. Now, there's some that may disagree. Anyway, the 5 is the IRT overlord. Hashtag that. Timing. Unlike before, the 5 actually stays on point. When it says it's coming in 5 minutes, it comes in 5 minutes. No excuses. Although the 5 may have a slower output than the other trains in the morning, it still manages to operate like nothing happened, which is a feat we all haven't seen since the E went to Euclid after 9/11. With the 5, you are actually assured a train in Manhattan. However, in the Bronx, mainly on Dyre Avenue, during the morning and midday, the 5 has ways of trolling passengers by changing routes or being stuck behind the 2 for most of the time. At night, as you know, the 5 is only a shuttle between East 180th Street and Dyre Avenue. Now, in the 4 review, I said why can't the 5 run like the 3 to Grand Central Station as a shuttle while going express on Lexington. Reason why that is because there would be too much going on down Lexington. Plus, it's too far for the 5 to come from the Bronx to Manhattan. Also, the 5 shuttle is only 5 cars itself. Now, words from the others.
Yes, the 5 train review. The 5, it's complex and intuitive, but it's very fun to ride. The 5 does have many more terminals than the A train does. Well, that's without doubt. When it comes to the 5, it's pretty much fast, reliable, and less crowded than the 4. And comes more often so than the 2 train. Right, in the Bronx, even into Brooklyn sometimes. And also on weekends without the 20-minute waits, it still beats the 2. It's a shame. When it comes to the 5 train has variances to its route. It could go anywhere at any point. It can run local or express. It can run normal, or it can be rerouted to go to a different route in case something happens. From my experience as a daily 5 train rider, I've always found the 5 to be my favorite route. The line that which I'm representing right now. And also to be quite the line to get me where I need to go. Not only just for riding it, but also for being my idea train. When it comes to reading or writing reports based on physics or astronomy, and even getting some ideas for school, for college, basically. I mean college. Oh. When it comes to the 5, it is a shit of IRT. I always felt as if it's the line that which most usually criticize, especially strap hangers. That which, by the way, most of their report is complete shit. But yeah, definitely one of the good lines of IRT, and being right there rivaled up to the 6 and the tree, the king of IRT. But despite the good things I have to say about the 5, There are also one thing I find wrong with it. The usual 20-minute waits on the weekends. And I mean, why is this mostly a thing? This happens about 75 to 80% of the times on weekends. And some of it just being unnecessary when the construction is north of East 180th Street. But however, it still comes around, and it's still there. Better than no fire train service at all. And also better than no fire train service south of East 180th to Bowling Green. Because when that happens, expect crowds to be on the 2 and the 4, even more so. With that saying, equipment-wise, on the 5, it's nothing but R142s. With only the RX set with a little bit of the 5 train set being a little bit cleaner than the 2 train sets. However, seeing nothing but R142s on the 5 can be bland, like the D with R68s. But still, I honestly can't really see the R142s going anywhere else. It does get the job done, it is fine, and it's keeping up with service as it is. Not like the Redbirds. Or the occasional R62As at which I used to catch back in my childhood. But I only rode that one stop, which was a disappointment. But yeah, the 5 train, it's the line I respect. I love it with a passion. And I can definitely love riding it on Lexington more than the 4 or the 6. So with that saying, it's me, Malik Savory, the daily 5 train rider, or the daily 5 train rider. And with that, I give my respects to the 5 train. Which, by the way, respect, experiment, and enjoy riding the 5 train.
5 train. Well, it's one of my favorite RT lines around. I just love that line a lot. I actually love how expressive it is, and it's one of my favorite RT lines, despite what everyone thinks of it and such. Its timing and such could be better, though. Not much I got to say this time, though.
Okay, my opinion about the 5. It's fast, it's okay, the equipment could be better. I like the 5 over the 4 because it doesn't mess up as much. It saves my ass most of the time when I'm getting home. I appreciate the 5 train, everything that it does. And overall, it's a good train. I like it. I love the 5 train. I don't care what anyone says. You know, I think the 5 train could be better when it comes to equipment. 142s aren't as good as, 62As. I still think they should put the 62As on the 7, split them between the 2 and 5. That's just a smarter thing to me. I don't know. But maybe, maybe in the future we might get it. Once they go off the 6. So, I mean,
That 5 train, it can be a lot better. For one, on the weekends, push it to Flatbush Avenue, because that 2 train sucks on Flatbush Avenue.
No, I actually like it going to Bowling Green. I get a nice seat, especially if I get on in Manhattan.
oh yes. But then that means the 4 is going to be packed, and the 2 is going to be packed. More transferring. I hate that. Every time I'm going to Flatbush on the weekend, for whatever reason it is, I want the 5 train to show up. It needs to go to Brooklyn on weekends.
Thank you, yes.
At least send 1 train. Something. Thing. Anyways. And equipment on the 5 can be better. As long as the 5 train runs well, it's well. Where I mean a train is good, it is good. The 5 is alright. I love the 5.
That depends, because you have to deal with shuttle bus.
Well, that's different. That's late nights. You're good.
And guys, how can we forget
Yeah.
late nights? Late nights.
Late nights with the 5 are pretty bad.
It sucks.
It's always people at 149th Street. They could be a lot better.
Yeah, it could be better, but the only time it goes to 149 is when it snows.
Then it's 125th. Bring it to, I would say 159. Wait, no.
42nd?
42nd. 42nd would be good, like the 3.
And this is all via the express,
Yes.
Yeah.
All via the express.
just like the 3.
Of course.
Definitely.
Or you're right.
They do have a late night express. It's called the 4.
Yeah, right.
Well, it doesn't run express until 1.
No, next thing you know, the next Uptown 4 train to New
Woodlawn.
York will arrive in
20-something.
I don't know.
27 runs every 20 minutes. Like
Sometimes they don't even display it.
Yeah. Don't you love it when the countdown clocks don't work?
you know, these weekend geos, at one point, I forgot the 5 ran on Lexington Avenue on the weekends because of the geos every week.
Yeah.
I thought it was just the 4, so I'm like, wait, the 5 does still run.
You know, everybody always puts their attention to the 4. When the 5 doesn't get enough credit, it's always getting blamed for stuff. And plus, the 5 train, quote unquote, what people say is one of the worst trains in New York City, which is a damn lie.
5's underrated.
Yes, very
Basically,
underrated.
the 5
Very
is
underrated.
just an scapegoat for people to sit down on for seats. That's
Again-
all it is.
Like
Yeah,
Knuckles
the
said,
three.
the 4 is the Da Vinci Code,
Yeah.
the 5 is the Escape,
Though I really
and the 3 trains are there.
the 5
Of
line
course.
on Dyre.
Of course.
Between East 188th and Dyre Avenue, that's a good run.
That's a good run. Yeah,
I really like
it.
this.
It's a good run, but who knows what
It
I
needs
did
to
like
be
when
long.
they put the new signal in.
Because the 2 can't do the Bronx by itself. On late nights, it can't do it by itself. Sometimes maybe, but most of the time, you can't do it. The 2 can't do it by itself.
The fractions help it.
The 5 train's always been the route. It's very similar towards the 3, where it's there to help. You know, after the 2 and 4 are gone, the 5 and 3 pick up the extra passengers.
Of course.
Yeah, but during on weekends during GL, the 5 is the first to get cut.
Yes, of course.
That's true.
That's so bad, you know?
Now, who here has ridden a 142A on the 5? Dyre
I
Avenue.
have.
Me,
Right.
me.
I have.
And when that 4 wasn't running, what train saved your ass? The
The
5
5 train.
and the 3. But still, mainly the 5.
Yes.
Did you mention the 62s on weekends back then?
Yes.
Oh, yes. I seen a couple of pictures of them. I never seen them.
I'm proud to say I rode the 62
Well,
on the
my friend,
weekend.
That's true. Same here.
Put her here.
Yes.
Put her here. 62 ways all day, every day.
The only thing I do not like, I used to stand at the tunnel portal watching the same train go back and forth, thinking it was a different train, and it turned out it was just a shuttle because years ago they used to cut the 5 on weekends and it only acted as a shuttle. I forgot what Joe it was, but I
It
don't
was
know.
actually a couple of weeks ago when the fire was a shuttle from Dyre to East 180.
I'm fully aware of that. You're talking to someone who lives along the Dyre line.
Would the 62 sign up as S?
Yes, they were always signed up as S.
Okay, cool.
Once in a blue moon, though, you might find a Redbird on it at the time. Very rare, though.
You know, I only rode a Redbird once, but from my experience, Redbirds kick ass.
Yes. Yes.
I support the Redbirds on the 5. Those were the good old
I
days.
like the 62 better, but Redbirds definitely good.
The R26s, the 28s, the 29s,
Redbirds in general.
the 33 main lines, the 36 World's Fair, and the 36 main lines. Those were fun on the 5.
Well, actually, 142s are like maybe not the most favorite, but they're still pretty good.
They're good.
I mean, they're actually pretty fast.
Again, like I said, put the 62As from the 7, split them between the 2 and the 5, so they won't be as boring. And you won't have people complaining over the 6 line over 142.
Well, technically, the 6 line doesn't complain about them at all. They just care about the ones that gets them to point A to point B.
Are you sure about that?
I ride the 6 quite often.
People will complain about any old tech
tech train.
It shows on the C train, of
It
course.
doesn't matter
Oh,
what
yeah.
C-train stuff is the worst,
Even
and
with
I
the
live by
60s
the
that's
C
still
line.
there. They still complain.
wherever you put old
They
trains,
just need
they're
to
gonna
shut up
complain.
now. That's all.
You know, I would say put them on the 6, because who's really going to complain about the 5 train anymore? Like, if not,
I complain
if
about
you
the
don't put
5,
them on
but
the
that
5,
depends on
then
that. I complain about the service, not the equipment.
Yeah. And then just maybe put them the 62As if they have spare ones on the 4, I guess. But
So my final question to you guys, generally, because my battery's running out. What exactly do you want to see on the 5 again? Do you want to see a Redbird on the 5? Does it belong
Redbird
I
there?
would,
Six
pay,
Redbirds.
I would pay money to see a Redbird
Oh,
on the 5.
hell
As much as I love Redbirds,
Okay.
or 62 or 62As.
I support his method, even though the most
agrees on Redbirds.
you probably won't see none of that. The most closest thing you'll see on the 5 is possibly a 142A, if most.
yeah,
Of course.
So I rode a 142A a couple times. It's good.
It's on Redbird.
It's all right. Yes, Redbirds, 62As. Any old equipment, the 5 really deserve because the 5 it's underrated, it's underappreciated. It's just not fair.
I
It's-
appreciate it very much.
Yes.
Yes.
I love the 5.
The one thing the 5 can definitely use though is better service.
Better service.
Yes,
definitely.
yes,
Better service.
And an extension during late nights, but that's not going to happen.
Hopefully, maybe one day, but maybe for some sort of GO, maybe the 4 is not running. I hope that happens.
It has happened.
Yes, I remember
They
that.
cut the 2 to 34th Street and made the 5 run to Brooklyn. Let's not
They
forget
did that. Yes, I was there.
Fast track.
I was there. I was you guys. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, indeed.
Now I'm going to tell you about the 5 in the past. In the past, the 5 was awesome. Redbirds, 62s, sometimes a 62A, you never know what you're going to get. Looking out the front window of the Redbird, perfect. 62, not so much. Half cab sucked. And years ago, I used to think the 5 was the best. Nowadays, the equipment is not the best at all. 142As on the 5 during certain specials is a welcoming sight. Anything else, it sucks. Back in the day, awesome. Now, nah. Overall, I'm tired of shuttle buses on the 5. That's one downside of being on the 5 line. Shuttle buses every weekend. So overall, I truly give the 5 probably about a 7, only because I hate shuttle buses. But back 10 years ago, you didn't have too much shuttle buses on the 5, but the stations were okay, they were decent. And that's basically it.
My total rating for the 5 would probably be an 8, just because I like it so much. I like it better than the 4. It's my second favorite IRT train. I love the 5 train. That's it. Simple as that.
Years ago, I would give the 5, when it had all the SMEs running on it, a 10 out of 10, only because it was a great chance and a great fast ride along the Dyre line, and especially along the Lex, except during rush hour, of course. Same story holds up today. And that is it.
So overall, the 5 is one hell of an IRT train. As you can see, the 5 is the true line that should have a train of Redbirds on it, and the MTA should make this an IRT special. It should be one day out of every month where that train runs on the 5. This way you won't have people cramming into one train for that one time only. Instead, give the train and the people more of a chance, not to overdo it just for one day out of the entire year. I can assure you, it won't be as ridiculous as the R1 and 9s, even though it's a Redbird, but still, this will bring you more cash due to the people wanting to catch it. Have it run during a day on a weekend. This way you can keep better track of it. Now service-wise, the 5 is exactly like the 3. It's a support train. That means I don't have to criticize it too hard. And that's not saying I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. That just means I'm not going to lose my cool over the 5 because it's not a staple service train like the 4 or the 6. Where you need to show up and have your service right. No, the 5's 3 main flaws are the overnight shuttle service from Dyre Avenue to East 180th Street, which by the way, I can understand if you're trying to keep the trains together by only sending them that far, but come on, it doesn't hurt to send the 5 in the Bronx local at night down to East 149th Street, and then express down Lexington to turn at 42nd Street Grand Central. Also, the fact that it's the first train of all IRT trains that's the most vulnerable to being cut from service when things get out of hand in the system, and the fact that the equipment is only R142. This one is not too important, but it can help Lexington in a way. You can have the R142s go from the 4 to the 5, and the rest of the 142s that's left over from the 5 can be on the 6. That silences the complaints from the passengers wanting new trains. Now the R62s can go to the 5 since no one cares about the 5. Only rail fans do. The 5 never really suffers from political mess because everyone is focused on the 4 and the 6, mainly the 6. Just recently the 5 was rated the worst, but there hasn't been any rant or any news broadcasting about it. Do you now see MTA? Think about it. You can do anything with your 5 train. The power is unimaginable and is at your fingertips to use as you please. This is why the 5 has the nickname the God of IRT. The 5 gets a 7.5 out of 10. There are things to be done with the 5. There is no doubt about it. The 5 has no problem with showing up on Lexington, and it has no problem giving you a seat unlike its 2 other partners. The 5 is a train of unlimited power, and only a fool will sit there and not come to terms with that. With that said, this is Knuckles of the Super Subway Brothers. You guys have a great night, and stand clear of the closing doors.